The camera drones fly over the crowd as the Vanguard theme for this season, Stronger by Through Fire, plays over whatever device you are playing CWF's Vanguard, Season 3 Episode 8 on tonight. This is the 8th episode of Vanguard for Season 3, being held at the Broadmoor World Arena, in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The CWF continues its march down the central western states, along the Rocky Mountains, continuing the push towards its hometown of Las Vegas, Nevada, where they will hold the Desperate Warfare pay-per-view event. The CWF's patented triple drone flight through the arena showing the crowd in attendance. A graphic comes up showing that 6,976 people had joined the CWF tonight out of the arena's capacity of 7,300 for ring-based sports events. The drones stop at the entrance ramp, where the video on the Jumbotron shows the opening graphic and credits before the fireworks go off. The drones come around to where the announcers table is set up, and we find our Vanguard announcers team, Jessica Carr and Victoria Hill, ready to get the show started. Jessica Carr: Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 8th episode of Season 3 for the Conquest Wrestling Federation Vanguard. I'm Jessica Carr, and this is my partner on the microphones, Victoria Hill. And as Jessica said, this is CWF's Vanguard. We're coming to you from Colorado Springs tonight. And we have a hell of a show for you tonight. Jessica Carr: Our main event tonight will be one of our biggest yet, as the Four Winds Wrestling Tempest Championship will be on the line as Wicked Cat Hale defends the challenge from Zolothak. Victoria Hill: And Zolothak is managed by her former manager, Morgan Decker, who really wants to prove that Hale needs him to be successful. Jessica Carr: Well, she beat Tetsuo Oni for that title. Speaking of which, Tetsuo Oni will be here in one-on-one action against Tracy Cage tonight. Victoria Hill: And another upstart, Miguel Lanza, Jr. will be facing Father Nathan. Jessica Carr: We'll have the debut of Aaliyah Landerson, who will join her father, the Bit Luchador, as a tag team facing off against newcomers Envy. Envy is composed of Carly Nash and Vespertine. Victoria Hill: A team I can get behind. As a note, Carly Nash is also booked on Warzone from Denver and is getting a shot at the Valor Championship held by Monster Mammoth. Jessica Carr: And just last Warzone we saw the formation of the new Carnival Order, of which the Valor Champion Monster Mammoth and the Elite Champion Mad Morales are part of, as well as Trelisa Perriot and Lady Lana Hill. We'll see Lady Lana tonight on Vanguard as she takes on newcomer Elena Esposito. Victoria Hill: Don't forget that the NKO also has Abigail Dresden with them. Jessica Carr: But she's one of the upstarts. Victoria Hill: Now, based on what I saw her as part of the NKO when they tried to end Rob Riot's career, as well as whoever D is. Jessica Carr: Well, between tonight and Warzone, we'll find out what is going to happen when it comes down to the NKO and Rob Riot. Victoria Hill: Well, our first matchup tonight is newcomer to the CWF, Samuel Drago, as he faces off the real mascot of the CWF, Mysterion. Jessica Carr: Mysterion is back. Victoria Hill: I'm told we're going to find out a bit about Mr. Drago right now. Scene: Starlight Wrestling Academy, a now-defunct wrestling academy. The doors to the academy open, showing Samuel Drago sitting on a chair. Behind him is the wrestling ring. Samuel Drago, Starlight Wrestling Academy. The academy I opened up almost a decade ago now. This place has produced, I am lucky to say, many amazing wrestlers that have gone on to do quite well. Most of you audience in CWF probably do not know me. I don't blame you. I have been away from this wrestling ring for many years, focusing on other aspects of my career. But you're in luck, CWF. You were lucky to be born in the same era as Samuel Drago, SGH rated #1 technician for 10 years straight. What's SGH? Well, I wouldn't expect you all to know it. It's one of the most respected wrestling journals circulating in Europe. Drago stands up from the chair. Samuel Drago: In fact, let me give you a rundown of myself and my capabilities. I am Samuel Drago, former 2x WSE World Champion and a 2014 Hall of Famer, longest reigning tag team title holder. As you can see, I am not some newbie here trying to make a name for myself. No, my dear sirs and madames, I already have the name to myself. I am here to give you what you have been sorely missing out on in this business. That is, actual real wrestling. And no, I don't mean the sissy dance that all the rest of the folks at CWF are getting up to. Not at all. My wrestling is like the cool breeze on top of the Appalachians, the gentle dewdrops in morning light. Most of all, it is the most enthralling piece of performance you all will ever bear witness to. Drago points to the ring behind him. Samuel Drago, that ring, the sacred and holy shrine, has been my home before, and I aim to make it my home again. It shall be so, I can promise you that. I mean, who else can do this? A montage of Drago performing his aerial moves and submissions plays. Samuel Drago, with moves like the Dragon Slayer, the Philosophy, the Dragon Bite, the Achilles leg lock, the Ode of Unholy, too many to name. I shall give you a taste of real and pure raw skill. In fact, I will tell you that it comes straight from the Academy of Plato himself. His teachings, his philosophy. Everything is in my blood. Drago sits back down on the chair with an air of superiority on his face. So CWF, get ready to witness the man that is wrestling itself. I am your patient zero, you shall be infected with art. Scene fades out. Suddenly, before CWF can move on, the next segment is stolen by Drago again. Scene, downtown Colorado Springs, Colorado 6 p.m. Scene opens up to Drago standing in front of the camera in downtown XYZ as Halloween goes. Samuel Drago, audience. I almost forgot, tonight is Halloween and later, I face Mysterion. As with all, I have heard nobody really knows what he looks like. He wears a mask, now why does he do that? Is it because he is scared of me showing up on his doorstep later? Perhaps he is. No matter, we are in downtown Colorado Springs, and I already promised I shall give you a real taste of what I promised. I shall purify and cleanse your eyes. Tonight, I will find Mysterion. I will show you. Come. He points to the cameraman to follow him. Samuel Drago, come on, camera guy. Follow me. Drago runs around town with the cameraman following him around. Drago stops at a turn. A guy wearing a skull mask is sitting in the alley smoking. Samuel Drago, camera guy, I think we have found our boy. Hey, you. Drago immediately punches the guy and performs the gastrician on him, crippling him on the ground. He leans down to grab the guy's face. Samuel Drago, that will teach you to hide your face like an absolute coward. He stands over the guy writhing in pain and extends out arms and looks at the sky. Samuel Drago, you have been infected with art itself. Camera guy, I don't think that's Mysterion, Drago. Samuel Drago, huh? Drago opens the guy on the ground's mask to reveal a random dude. Samuel Drago, I see, this isn't Mysterion. But some puny asswipe. No matter, we can do this all night long. Camera bud, on to the next one. Drago then next beats up an old man simply walking down the road, then beats up a creep trying to hit on a lady because fuck him, then beats up another dude. A montage then cuts to Drago beating up random people in masks out on Halloween. He keeps trying to find Mysterion, but after each beating, it turns out they were random people. About now, the cops have started looking for Drago. Samuel Drago, oh no, it's the feds. Camera pal, I hope you have stamina. Camera guy, wait, what? Suddenly Drago starts running through the alleys and over the fences, with the cameraman right behind him as the police sirens sound all throughout town. Police, patrolling the city, PA through a mic, we are looking for a vandal wearing a leather jacket and dark blue jeans. Long black hair, 5 feet 10 inches and about 218 pounds. He has been seen beating up mask wearers throughout the night. Please stay safe and stay indoors. Drago keeps running through the narrow dark streets. Samuel Drago, ahahaha. They think they can catch me. Well, camera boy, I know just the place to go right now. Come, follow. Drago runs around town until finally arriving at an entrance. Samuel Drago, I couldn't find who Mysterion was tonight. No matter, I will show you what I do to Mysterion tonight. Well, audience, time to see what art itself looks like. Drago walks into the entrance. Sirens still sound all over town as the camera moves up to show that Drago just entered Broadmoor World Arena. Jessica Carr, well, a bit of an introduction to the newest signee to the CWF. Samuel Drago. And it's time for that match now. Victoria Hill, I'm impressed so far. But let's see how he does against Mysterion. Marcela Sancho, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is the opening contest of the evening. Featuring first the challenger, hailing from the Academy of Plato himself, he is Samuel Drago. When the first notes of Edge of Tomorrow by Technoaxe begin, lights go off as snow falls on the ramp. This continues till the breakdown of the song, when Drago is lifted up from the bottom of the ramp. He stands there quietly. When the chorus comes in and the entrance video says, 100% pure wrestling infection detected, the pyros go off as Drago stretches out both his arms in a Vitruvian man pose. He then starts walking to the ring. Once he gets on the apron, he turns back to look at the crowd and then gets into the ring. He takes his dragon scale jacket off in the ring. Jessica Carr, now, I have in my notes that Samuel used to go by just Drago? Victoria Hill, yes, that's right. And then he earned the name Samuel by being in a big battle royal for the right to have a first name. Jessica Carr, really? That's not in the notes. Victoria Hill, I'm just messing with you. He decided to add that to his name. Jessica Carr, oh. Victoria Hill, yeah. Marcela Sancho, and his opponent, hailing from parts unknown, he is Mysterion. The house lights lower and a spotlight falls on the stage, highlighting the entrance from the back. Everything slowly falls silent until an electronically distorted voice sounds over the PA. Who is Mysterion? Basket Case by Offspring kicks off at a deafening volume and strobe lights suddenly start flashing crazily, as though controlled by a kid with ADHD on a sugar rush. Fireworks tear off into the rafters, flooding the empty upper stadium in light. The excitement levels of the crowd grows. Surely an entrance such as this alludes a someone. A big someone. Suddenly that distorted voice sounds again as it once more asks, who is Mysterion? A spray of sparks erupt either side of the stage and a man bursts through onto the stage. The voice sticks to a loop, repeating the words. He is Mysterion. He is Mysterion. He is Mysterion. The spotlight refocuses on the animated, excited wrestler to reveal Jack Skellington. Mysterion runs down the ramp, clapping the outreached hands of all the fans excited by this week's impressive outfit as he makes his way down to the ring. Jessica Carr, really impressive outfit this week. Victoria Hill, has he done this costume before? Jessica Carr, you know what? I don't rightly know. Victoria Hill, oh well. Not like it makes that much difference. As the bell sounds to start the match, Mysterion begins walking toward the center of the ring. Samuel Drago rushes across the ring and hits a shotgun dropkick. The impact knocks Mysterion back to the corner of the ring where he bounces off the turnbuckles and lands face first onto the mat. When Mysterion gets up, Samuel applies an arm lock that he quickly transitions into a throwaway German suplex. Mysterion starts to get up when Samuel kicks him in the ribs to prevent such an occurrence. He continues to stomp and kick Mysterion until the masked wrestler can roll away and get to his feet. Samuel responds by running past Mysterion, leaping at the ropes so that he can springboard off of the middle rope and knee Mysterion in the face. Jessica Carr, Samuel dominating so far. Victoria Hill, I mean he is the man that is wrestling itself. Jessica Carr, oh, right. Victoria Hill, yeah, he was born for this. Samuel Drago pulls Mysterion up and into a powerbomb position. He hits the powerbomb, but holds onto him and deadlifts him up again to powerbomb him again, and then holds on him so that he can hit a third powerbomb. This time, Samuel falls onto his belly while Mysterion lays on his back. Samuel is back upon his feet with an inverted kip pup. Jessica Carr, Samuel calls that the 3 lives, death each time. Devastating. Victoria Hill, yeah, doesn't look like Mysterion is getting up anytime soon. Samuel looks at the downed Mysterion with contempt. He pulls Mysterion up and into a front facelock, cradling the chin. And then Jessica Carr, the Ode of Unholy. Victoria Hill, yep, I'm gonna say that this one is all over. Jessica Carr, too bad Mysterion didn't even get a lick in. Victoria Hill, a testament for Samuel Drago's skills. The ref gets into position as Samuel goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Marcela Sancho, winner of the match via pinfall, Samuel Drago. Samuel Drago stands and celebrates his win in the ring. As he moves to exit the ring, he sees that Mysterion is starting to stir. He runs over and punt kicks Mysterion in the side of the head to knock him right back out. He laughs as the crowd boos his disgusting act, and he heads to the back with a chorus of booing. Jessica Carr, Daniel Corgan in the ring to check on Mysterion. He's calling for a stretcher, so this can't be good. Victoria Hill, Samuel Drago begins his CWF career as an asshole. Jessica Carr, I'd like to say I'm shocked. Victoria Hill, but you aren't. Jessica Carr, no, I am not. Victoria Hill, I am not either. Jessica Carr, well, we're going to need a quick commercial break while we take care of Mysterion out here. Where your stalkers can follow, but can't post, because we want their personal data, not their opinions. Facewater. Validating the verified. Jessica Carr, and we are back with a very interesting team with a very interesting name. Victoria Hill, they call themselves Envy, and they are the team of the newest newbies on the new block, Vespertine and Carly Nash. They claim to know each other so well, but we have not seen them anywhere around each other, so let's see if what they say is true tonight. Jessica Carr, indeed. Marcela Sancho, the following matchup is a tag team match, scheduled for one fall. When Boyka 619 hits Landerson and Aaliyah. Both walk out together and they both go spirit stage and burst open fireworks and they switch sides and does the exact same thing and he gets down on one knee and crosses heart and gets back up and him and his daughter walk down the aisle and slap a few high fives and he saw a little kid wearing his lucha mask and hands him his fake lucha mask to the little kid and Landerson and Aaliyah both get inside of the ring and headed up towards the top rope and pose up each finger and gets down and head straight for the other top rope and does the exact same thing, raise both one finger and gets down and wait for their opponent arrive. Marcela Sancho, at a combined weight of 281 pounds, from San Jose, California, Albert Lucador, El Anderson and the princess of the 619, Aaliyah Landerson, they are the Landerson Familia. Victoria Hill, could he get any more excited about introducing these two? They proved last week that as great as family is, they ain't nothing. The opening bridge of Knuckle Up by Snowgoons start up and after a minute or so, that fades to the starting riff of Sick, by the warning indicating the two entrance themes of both women. The arena lights go down and a single spotlight comes up and then We Will Rock You by And This Moment starts. On the Tron comes up images of Carly and Vespertine wrestling and Carly brawling with various opponents and Vespertine flying off various things to take out various opponents. Interspersed are images of Carly playing hockey and checking opponents and Vespertine driving her cars and doing side shows and street racing. From below the ring, the trapdoor with an entire pulpit comes up with Carly standing behind, arms outstretched as if basking in the light of God. On either side of her stand Hilda Meyer and Tracy Dixon. The pulpit in front of her is uniquely dark and on it are two candles with Vespertine standing head bowed and in Buddhist prayer. She looks up and we see her eyes are deep dark black. She steps off the trapdoor and waits at the top of the entrance ramp. Carly goes into darkness as she goes around the pulpit and reappears right next to Vespertine. Carly has arms outstretched as if asking for her God for help. Vespertine holds out on fist towards the audience as if to encompass their souls. They start off and walk in time to the music. Carly gets to the ring, goes up the steps, and goes through the ropes. Vespertine goes up the opposite steps, goes to the middle of the ropes, and flips over them, dropping into a Melina-type splits. The lights are still low as both women get to the center of the ring. We will rock you. We will rock you. We will rock you. Then when it goes into the ending bridge of the song, they suddenly pose. Carly stands at 5 feet 11 inches and Vespertine poses low in front of her at 5 feet 5 inches, but both have arms out and up. The lights come back up and Vespertine bows her head to take off her hood. We're up. When she comes back up, her eyes have returned to normal. She goes to stand in the far corner with Carly to discuss team tactics with Hilda and Tracy listening in. Marcela Sancho, hailing from the San Francisco, California and Grand Marais, Minnesota, respectively at 5 feet 5 inches and 5 feet 11 inches at a total combined weight of 272 pounds, they are the premier athlete Carly Nash and the well-rounded fighting machine, Vespertine. They are ENVYYYYYYYYYY. Victoria Hill, aw hell yeah. I'm loving this team already. The bell rings and it looks like Carly and Landerson will start. They get into a collar and elbow tie-up, but neither gains the advantage. Then Landerson starts pushing Carly back and somehow Carly puts on the brakes and starts pushing him back into the corner. He hits the post and puts his hands up. The referee tells Carly to back up. She does so, but shows her true colors and slaps Landerson across the face. True Carly Nash style. Then she backs up. Landerson whips his head around and comes back slowly with fire in his eyes. He charges and tries for a shotgun dropkick to the knee, but Carly jumps over and he slides through. He gets up and runs the ropes, and on the rebound jumps on the ropes, launches himself and tries for a lionsault onto Carly. Carly, however, sees it coming, catches him mid-air and power slams him to the mat. She is quick to cover and the referee gets into position. 1, 2. Jessica Carr, nope. Kick out at 2.5. Carly showing up, she is doing what she does best. Victoria Hill, a straight shooting son of a bitch. Or in this case, a daughter of. Who knows? Carly picks Landerson up and puts him in a full Nelson, turns him and yells towards Vespertine. Vespertine gives the thumbs up, climbs up the ring post as Carly drags Landerson forward and Vespertine launches and hits him with a missile dropkick. He goes down and they set him up for a double suplex, which connects. They tag and Vespertine covers, but the referee goes to grab Carly and tell her it wasn't an official tag. Victoria Hill, oh come on ref, you can do better than that. Count faster. Jessica Carr, he is the referee. He doesn't care what you think. Victoria Hill, well he should. My opinion is the only one that matters around here. Jessica Carr, indeed. Vespertine gets out and then Carly makes a big show of tagging her in. As Vespertine climbs in, Landerson wobbles up and tags in Aaliyah. She comes in a house of fire and tries to clothesline Vespi, but VC ducks and runs the ropes, rebounds as does Aaliyah. They run the ropes criss-crossing each other, then finally Vespertine goes for a running spinning heel kick, but Aaliyah sees it coming and ducks, rolls Rey Mysterio style, and comes up to get out of the ring to wait. As Vespertine rebounds and comes off the ropes, Aaliyah launches herself and tries for a suicide plancha, which Vespertine sees, and she dodges out of the way off. She sees her opportunity when Aaliyah crashes to the mat and jumps up on the corner post, turns around, points at Aaliyah, and gives off a feral scream. Jessica Carr, she is going to fly, folks. What does she have in mind? Victoria Hill, damn if that girl doesn't look good doing it either. She launches herself and tries for a 5-star frog splash via Eddie Guerrero, but at the last instant Aaliyah rolls out of the way and Vespertine bounces onto the mat hitting nothing but canvas. She rolls around in pain. Aaliyah is quickly up, she pulls Vespi up by the hair and then whips her towards the corner post. Vesper slams hard against it and turns around slowly to grasp her chest in pain. Aaliyah runs up and tries a spinning wheel kick, but she ducks at the last second and Aaliyah hits the corner post. Vespertine whirls and tries for a leg sweep. Using her hurt leg as a spring, Aaliyah jumps over it and Vesper rolls away, so Aaliyah quickly gets her off the corner post, rubs it and looks at Vespertine, who is smirking at her and waiting. She does the bring it sigh and immediately both women let fly a wild series of different kicks, jumps, sweeps, lots of running, lots of flippy shit, and both women are basically blurs at this point. The audience is going wild as this going on until finally Vespi gets the upper hand and does a Mexican arm drag. Aaliyah gets up and gets arm dragged again. A third time, but Aaliyah reverses it. Vespertine gets up and gets arm dragged again. She gets up a third time, but this time she sticks her hand out in a show of respect. Aaliyah takes it and the audience pops again for this show of respect. Vespertine whirls her arm from the pain and Aaliyah rubs her leg, the one which got caught up on the turnbuckle. Victoria Hill, that's gonna leave a mark. She'll be sore there tomorrow. Jessica Carr, you think? Victoria Hill, not often. Suddenly Vespertine goes through the ropes, jumps up to balance on the top rope, screams out a feral scream and flies, catches Aaliyah around the neck and tries for a hurricanrana. She nails it, but Aaliyah knows what to do about that and goes rolling and at the last second, jumps up, twirls and launches herself into a rolling Seton bomb as Vespi turns over. Vespertine sees this and puts her legs up to catch her in the stomach. Aaliyah sees this and stops just short on her feet and watches as Vespertine kips up quickly and gets into a fighting stance. They both nod as the crowd gives them a big cheer from their exhibition they just put on. Victoria Hill, oh sportsman-like conduct. Bah. Jessica Carr, well, I'm going to give credit where it's due. These two are evenly matched. When Vespertine flies she is lovely to watch. Victoria Hill, I'll agree with you on the last part. but not on the second part, and I won't give any credit to anyone but Vespertine in this whole fucking match. Jessica Carr, a bit biased are we? Victoria Hill, hells yes. The two women circle each other. Vespertine continues to whirl her arm and Aaliyah limps on a leg. Vespertine charges, feints, rolls Mysterio style and comes up and tags Carly in. Carly slowly goes through the ropes and comes to stand looking down at Aaliyah while Aaliyah looks up at her. Carly roars, like the 5'11" monster she is, grabs Aaliyah by the neck in a sort of choke and lifts her off her feet. Aaliyah, having none of it, gives her the most vicious throat thrust, and when Carly drops her, she kicks her in the knees and then runs back to her father to tag him in. He tries for and nails Aaliyah's press, but instead of wailing away on Carly like he should just for shits and giggles, he gets up and lifts his arms to soak in the cheers of the audience. Carly is not down and she rises up, charges him, and as he turns around, gives him a clothesline from hell. He bounces off the mat in pain and she quick picks him up and puts him in a regal stretch. Jessica Carr, she calls this natural selection. This could be it, folks. Victoria Hill, I'm getting tired of this little two-bit lookador. Just pin him, Carly. He wasn't worth the time or effort you and VC put into this match. It's been a hot minute and he doesn't tap out. So she turns, yells out to Vespertine and lays him over her knee as she kneels. Vespertine goes to the top corner post. Turns around, gives the Jeff Hardy gun salute and flies. For a moment all eyes are on her as she launches. It looks like she is going in slow motion, but really that is just time slowing down to give her the most perfect way to land, and she does the demolition decapitation move which they call Victoria Hill OH. Judgment Day. That's almost like the demotion device that Demolition used back in the day. Jessica Carr, HUI. You did your homework. Good girl. Victoria Hill, don't push it. Elle Anderson flips head over ass and both women cover him. 1, 2, 3. Marcelo Sancho, here are your winners. Vespertine, Carly Nash, Ian VYYYYYYYYYY. The announcers pick up as the ring starts to clear out. Jessica Carr, Envy were successful tonight in their tag team debut. And a reminder that Carly Nash will be on Warzone, challenging for the Valor Championship currently held by Monster Mammoth. Victoria Hill, well, I can say Nash was impressive here, but she's taking on my man for his belt. Jessica Carr, well, looks like we have time for one more matchup before a break, so let's get to another debut. Elena Esposito makes her CWF debut, taking on NKO member Lady Lana Hill. Victoria Hill, Lady Lana finally seeing the light. Joining Armand von Kraus as part of the new Carnival Order, and she's here tonight. Jessica Carr, a new attitude by a CWF original, Lady Lana Hill. Let's see how this goes in this matchup, right now. Marcela Sancho, the following contest is scheduled for one fall. Featuring first, the challenger, from Manhattan, New York, she is Elena Esposito. Queen by Loren Gray begins playing with lyrics cross my heart and hope to die as lights go out, I don't need another guy. To fight my battles. To overshadow me. Don't you know I'm dangerous? Fire burning in my blood as Elena Esposito with her cell phone in hand as she takes selfie as she makes the resting bitch face as she rolls her eyes as her right hip left hand hanging down as she walked down nonchalantly to ring as she walks up the ring steps enters the ring and under bottom rope. Jessica Carr, why does Elena wrestle? It would seem like this kind of thing is below her from the way she acts. Victoria Hill, I don't know. Maybe she likes inflicting pain? She sure does it with Jimmy. Jessica Carr, well, that is the truth. Victoria Hill, she's rich and sadistic. Marcela Sancho, and her opponent, hailing from London, England, she is Lady Lana Hill. Back in Black by AC/DC begins playing as Lady Lana Hill walks out from the back with her bodyguards at her side. She seems to be a bit sad at the booing from her having shown loyalty to the Von Crosses, but she soldiers on, heading down to the ring with her retinue. Jessica Carr, she acts like the crowd should be cheering her on. Victoria Hill, I don't know why she's in the NKO. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Jessica Carr, maybe she thinks it will turn her luck around to join the dark side. Victoria Hill, that joining Brutes would change her luck? I suppose. Elena Esposito and Lady Lana cross the ring to the center to get eye to eye as the bell sounds to start the match. They seem to be locked in a staring contest until Lana's tail flitting here and there draws Elena's attention long enough for Lana to strike her with a hard right hand and whip her into the ropes. On the rebound, she hits a drop kick that sends Elena to the mat. Lana rushes across the ring, jumping over Elena, and as Elena gets up, Lana springboards off of the middle rope and into a head scissors takedown. She keeps the head scissors locked in and the referee goes to check to see if Elena will submit, but she refuses. Elena gets a foot on the ropes and Lana is forced to break the hold. Both stand up, but before Lana can go back on the offensive, Elena spits in her face. Lana steps back, obviously disgusted, and wipes at her face, but Elena pulls her legs out from under her and mounts her to rain down punches onto her. Elena gets up and kicks Lana in the ribs to roll her over onto her belly. Lana continues rolling and gets to her feet, but Elena is on her with a slap to the face. Jessica Carr, Elena is just so disrespectful. Victoria Hill, she's rich so she feels she can be impolite. Jessica Carr, well, Lana isn't poor. Victoria Hill, true that. Lana puts a hand to the side of her face in shock before her expression becomes angry and she slaps Elena back hard enough to turn Elena's face to the side. Elena responds with another slap, this time drawing blood as she busts Lana's lip open. Lana growls and throws a hard right hand, leveling Elena. Lana takes a few steps back and watches as Elena slowly gets back up and rushes at her, hitting a hanging soccer kick to the side of the face. Lana goes across the ring and waits for Elena to start to get up when she runs across the ring and hits a knee into her back and shoulders. Jessica Carr v. Trigger. What the heck? Victoria Hill, are you serious right now? Lana for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Marcela Sancho, winner of the match via pinfall, Lady Lana Hill. Jessica Carr, Lana with a win coming off of her joining the NKO. I'm shocked. Victoria Hill, well? Elena did disrespect Lana during the match. Maybe that's the key to her winning is to make her angry. Jessica Carr, oh right. That did serve to getting her motivated to make a comeback. Victoria Hill, now. You want to see about getting in her way like Ben Price did? Jessica Carr, I don't know why I would. I didn't have a crush on her like Ben did. Victoria Hill, yeah, you don't want to get dropped either. Thames. A global mail-order company named after a famous river, definitely no slave labor involved. Jessica Carr, welcome back, once again. We're ready to keep going here tonight, as we're about to have the actress, Tracy Cage, take on Tetsuo Oni. Victoria Hill, I'm not sure what you were going to imply with that pause there. But this is going to be up-and-coming action star against washed-up a member of the upstarts. Tetsuo Oni has been a Legion champion, they lost those. And she was a Tempest champion, and she's lost that as well. Jessica Carr, well, that means I know something you don't. But I'm going to hold that until it's revealed here tonight. Victoria Hill, what? What is it? Jessica Carr, you'll find out. But now, apologies to our viewers. As the first half of this match is going to be someone coming to the ring. Victoria Hill, why you have to be so negative on this? Tracy Cage is a real star. Marcela Sancho, the following matchup is scheduled for one fall. Coming to the ring first. She comes in at 5 feet 7 inches and 140 lbs. Hailing from Hollywood, California, this is the superstar Tracy Cage. The arena lights dim and the crowd buzzes with anticipation. Suddenly, a spotlight hits the stage, revealing a lavish setup, a grand staircase leading down to the ramp, adorned with plush red carpets, golden railings, and sparkling chandeliers hanging overhead. The unmistakable opening beats of Madonna's Vogue echo through the arena, and the crowd erupts. On cue, a line of photographers in tuxedos rushes to the base of the staircase, snapping photos with oversized vintage cameras, their flashes lighting up the space like a red carpet event. The camera pans up the staircase, revealing a procession of dancers dressed in 1940s Hollywood glam, each striking poses straight out of a fashion magazine, all in sync with the iconic beat. Jessica Carr, why? This is Vanguard. The Conquest champion doesn't do this type of entrance. Victoria Hill, she's a diva, for sure. As the dancers clear the stage, the queen herself, Madonna, appears at the top of the staircase, dressed in a dazzling silver gown with a long train. She holds a vintage-style microphone and begins to sing Vogue live, her voice resonating through the arena. The crowd loses it, fully immersed in the spectacle. Suddenly, the spotlight shifts again, this time to the center of the stage, where a massive golden throne is slowly rising from beneath the floor. Seated on the throne, her back to the audience, is the star of the show, Tracy Cage herself, decked out in a sparkling robe that glimmers with every movement. The robe is encrusted with sequins and rhinestones, with a massive star emblazoned on the back, shimmering under the lights. Jessica Carr, you know how much this is costing us? I mean, we're blowing more than the budget for the whole show for just this. As Madonna continues to sing, the throne rotates slowly to reveal Tracy's flawless face, framed by perfectly styled hair and oversized sunglasses. She stands, removing her sunglasses with a dramatic flair and tossing them into the crowd. The robe is discarded with a sweeping motion, revealing her wrestling gear, a dazzling ensemble that looks more like a high-fashion couture outfit than a traditional wrestling uniform. It's all gold and silver, with intricate detailing and even more rhinestones, catching every bit of light in the arena. Tracy Cage begins her descent down the staircase, striking poses at each step as if she were on the catwalk. The photographers rush to her, snapping photos, and she stops to sign autographs on massive, exaggerated headshots of herself that they present. Each step is deliberate, each pose more outrageous than the last, as the crowd eats up the over-the-top display. Reaching the bottom of the staircase, she steps onto the red carpet that now runs the length of the ramp, flanked by more photographers and dancers who continue to strike poses in time with the music. The crowd is in a frenzy as she makes her way down the ramp, pausing periodically to blow kisses, wave, and even stop for a red carpet interview with an announcer who has appeared out of nowhere, microphone in hand. Madonna follows her down the ramp, still singing, and as they approach the ring, the ropes are held open by tuxedo-clad attendants. Tracy pauses at the foot of the ring steps, looking around as if she owns the place, because tonight, she does. She climbs the steps with grace, taking her time, and enters the ring under the top rope, moving to the center where she strikes one final pose. Madonna joins her in the ring, finishing the song with a flourish as confetti cannons go off around the arena, showering the ring in gold and silver. Tracy Cage stands tall in the center, arms raised, basking in the adulation and the absurdity of it all. As the music fades, the lights return to normal, but the image of the grand entrance lingers, a moment so over the top, so obnoxiously Hollywood, that it's unforgettable. Tracy smirks, knowing that she's not just in the ring, she's stolen the entire show. Suddenly, a voice erupts over the PA system. The voice of her opponent, Tetsuo Oni. Tetsuo Oni, are you damn well done yet? This is a wrestling show, not Fashion Week. The intro Static Start 4 Reckless by Lacuna Coil starts to play. When the guitars hit, Tetsuo Oni first steps out onto the stage. She stands there, arms outstretched as she's wearing the motley robe to her gear for a few moments. Around her waist is a large wrestling championship title. Victoria Hill, and why is she wearing that title? That's not a CWF or 4WW belt. Jessica Carr, well, not completely true there. That is the Discovery Pro Wrestling National Championship, and Tetsuo Oni is their current national champion. And as they have just recently joined for WW as a member federation, the CWF has allowed her to wear that title on CWF's shows, just like we did with member feds or other interfeds we've been part of. Victoria Hill, okay. As the song picks up, she starts to do a slow walk down to the ring. Marcela Sancho, and now, coming to the ring. She hails from the Okinawa Prefecture of Japan. Coming in at 5'5" and 135 pounds. She is the current Discovery Pro Wrestling National Champion and represents the upstarts in CWF. She is the fourth to bear the mantle and mask of the Tetsuo Oni. Halfway down the ramp she stops, takes her DPW National Championship off, and calls over a ring attendant. When they get there, she hands them the title, and then quickly doffs her robe for them as well. Once she's ready, she breaks into a run, slipping under the bottom rope. She slides to her knees, then comes up, getting right into Tracy Cage's face. Jessica Carr and Oni getting into the movie starlet's face. Glad to see someone else thinks this ring entrance is extravagant. The referee, Troy Reynolds, breaks them apart. Marcela Sancho quickly moves to get out of the ring. Victoria Hill and the referee spoiling it. Would have been nice to see Cage just reach out and pull that mask off, or worse. Jessica Carr, that's not nice. Victoria Hill, face it, she's one of the upstarts. She might have another Feds title now, but when it comes down to it, if your last name isn't Dresden, the upstarts aren't quite there. Reynolds gives them the quick rundown and then signals for the bell to start the match. Ding! Ding! Cage steps in and pushes the smaller, masked competitor. Oni shakes her head and lunges forward with a forearm smash to Cage's chest. Cage falls back a bit, but recovers quickly. She reaches out and grabs Oni by the head and arm, then whips her to the ropes. Oni comes off. Cage tries for a standing dropkick, but Tetsuo Oni baseball slides under it. She kips up where she starts, coming back up to her feet. She hits the ropes on her own side and catches Cage with a running kick that drops her back down to the mat. Jessica Carr, Oni getting a wicked-looking penalty kick in early. Victoria Hill, sounded like she snapped Tracy Cage's mouth shut on that one. Oni turns around and pulls Cage up to her feet. Cage lashes out with what looks almost like a thumb to the eye. She then spins Oni around and takes her back with a Russian leg sweep. She floats over with it and tries to hook a leg, but Oni quickly gets a leg wrapped up in the bottom rope. Reynolds tells Cage to break the hold. Jessica Carr, kinda early to go for a pinfall like that. Cage pulls Oni up to her feet and then whips her to the ropes. She tries for a back body drop, but Oni rotates with it and lands on her feet. He falls into the ropes, comes off and grabs Cage's arm as she goes by, and tosses her down for a judo-type throw. She keeps hold of the arm and drops down to one knee. She pulls Cage's elbow across her knee while keeping a wrist lock in place. Jessica Carr, the acrobatics and judo coming into play here as well. Not sure Tracy Cage would be really ready for that. And she has no stunt people this time. Reynolds asks Cage if she's going to give up, and she shakes her head while yelling "No." He gives a couple of seconds, and then asks again, to the same response. Cage starts to try to slide a bit towards the ropes. Just as she's about to get to the ropes with one foot, Oni lets the hold go. She then leaps up to the second rope and comes off with an elbow drop that hits Cage right in the chest. Victoria Hill, Oni still in control here. Oni grabs Cage's arm and pulls her a bit away from the ropes. She then goes back to the ropes, grabbing the top and pulling back. She leaps up onto the top tope for a springboard into a moonsault that lands across Cage's midsection. She hooks the leg and goes for a quick pinfall. 1, 2. Cage twists and gets a shoulder up. Oni gets up, shaking her head. She grabs Cage by the hair and helps to pull her up to her feet. Reynolds starts a count for the grabbing of the hair. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jessica Carr, Reynolds may be taking this a bit too seriously. Not seen too many counts for helping an opponent up. Victoria Hill, she did have her hair there. Oni lets her hair go and tries to whip her to the ropes, but Cage reverses it. Cage catches Oni as she comes off the ropes and scoops her up into a traditional body slam. She takes a few steps backwards and comes off with a leg drop. She tries for a pinfall. 1. Oni kicks out. Jessica Carr, nope, not going to take out someone with a regular body slam and a leg drop. She's not wearing red and yellow here. Cage starts to argue with Reynolds on that one, saying it was a slow count. Oni kips up to her feet and then grabs her from behind into a double chicken wing. She takes Cage over with a tiger suplex. Oni bridges for a pin. Reynolds falls into place for a pinfall attempt. 1, 2. Cage brings a foot down to break the bridge. Cage falls to the side. Victoria Hill, that could have been a little closer, but not quite. Both come up to their knees. Cage delivers a forearm to Oni's chest, followed by 2 more. Oni seems a bit stunned by the sudden brutality. Cage finishes coming up and hooks Oni for a suplex. She snaps her over, but holds on. She then rotates and comes back up, keeping the hold. Jessica Carr, little impressive move there by Tracy Cage. Cage now turns the move into a classic twisting neckbreaker. Once the Oni's down, Cage plays up to the crowd a bit. Victoria Hill, not a smart move here. Come on Cage, turn around, keep your eye on the prize here. Jessica Carr, she's giving a lot of time for Tetsuo Oni to recover there. Cage points a finger to Reynolds and seems to tell him to do his job right this time. She turns around and reaches down to pull Oni up to her feet. She pushes Oni back to the corner and then twists around, grabs Oni into a facelock. She tries for a running bulldog. But when she gets halfway across the ring and leaps for the bulldog part, Oni stops and pushes Cage off, causing her to land on her backside, hard. Jessica Carr, and that'll realign the spine for you. Oni pulls back and kicks Cage in the back. She delivers another one, and then another. Oni then pulls her up and whips her to the turnbuckles hard. She follows in with a leap into a corner splash with a lot of lariat thrown in for good measure. Cage slips down the turnbuckles, falling into a seated position. Oni backups and runs to the other side. She comes running back for a double knee running Meteora on Cage in the corner. Jessica Carr, that'll ring anyone's bell, let alone some washed up. Victoria Hill, Tracy Cage is not a washed up actress. Oni pulls her out of the corner and back up to her feet. She whips Cage to the ropes. Oni runs to the ropes on the other side. They meet in the middle, with Oni ducking a clothesline attempt. They both hit the ropes again, this time Cage catches Oni and drops back with a monkey flip type move. Oni tucks and somersaults, landing on her feet in the middle of the ring. Jessica Carr, now that's impressive. Cage comes up and looks around for her opponent, but then finds that she's standing in the ring. Cage backs up a bit, putting her hands up. Jessica Carr, looks like Cage wants none of Tetsuo Oni now. Oni breaks into a run, hits the ropes, and comes off. Cage goes for one of her own patented super kicks, but Oni stops short and grabs her leg. She holds onto the leg and moves around Cage's body, forcing her to hop on one leg. Jessica Carr, Cage got caught, and now she'll pay the price. Oni crosses Cage's leg and translates her around her waist with her other arm. She lifts up and falls back into a modified German suplex and attempts to bridge it for a pin. Victoria Hill, and there is an Oni-plex. 1, 2. The Cage just barely kicks out. Jessica Carr, not yet, that was a solid 3.5 count. Cage tries to scuttle away, but as she does, Oni grabs her leg and hooks it around the back of her own neck in a stretch muffler. She clasps her hands, locking it in place. Cage tries to get out, but as she does, Oni takes the opportunity to pull Cage's back up over one knee, and then locks her other leg around her opponent's neck, adding to the submission. Jessica Carr, she's got her in the iron lock. Cage tries to fight it, but Oni turns her so she's bridging back between the leg placement and the stretch muffler applied as well. Victoria Hill, she'll get out of it. The hero of the movie always gets out. Oni cinches the hold in as Reynolds checks on Cage, who is emphatically shaking her head no, with the little bit of movement she's got in the hold. Jessica Carr, that's got to hurt. Suddenly Tracy Cage taps out, her hand tapping on the leg going across her neck. Reynolds comes up and signals for the bell. Ding! 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 Marcela Sancho, your winner of this match, via submission. Tetsuo Oni. Oni releases the hold and uses a foot to push Cage off of her on the mat. She then kips up to her feet for Reynolds to raise her hand as the victor. Jessica Carr, Tetsuo Oni now getting on a winning streak. Victoria Hill, well, one thing that can be said is true, winning a title can really improve someone's outlook. No matter what it is. She looked confident in that ring. Cage was not ready for someone like her tonight. And I have to admit, Oni was ready for her. Jessica Carr, no she wasn't. Now, I'm told we're going to the back really quick. Miguel Lanza, Jr. is on his way to the staging area, minding his own business. That is until he hears a voice beside him. Women's voice, my, you are looking ready for your match. Miguel looks to see Jasmine Minton walking by him, where there was no one previously. Miguel Lanza, Jr., I know you. What do you want? Jasmine Minton, straight and to the point, I like that in a man. Miguel Lanza, Jr., I'll have you know that I am taken. Jasmine laughs a little as they walk, placing a hand on Miguel's shoulder. Jasmine Minton, I'm not looking for a date. I'm looking to help you against Father Nathan. I'm almost certain that his little offspring, Fiona, may get involved in your match to help her doddering father win the day. I can help prevent that. Miguel stops in his tracks, prompting Jasmine to stop as well. Miguel Lanza, Jr., Fiona would not get involved and you just want revenge for the heart punch that Father Nathan threw you. One that you well deserved for kidnapping Fiona and her mom. Jasmine Minton, oh please. I was only bluffing about the kidnapping. He didn't bother to go by his dressing room on the way to where I was to check and see. And yes, I want revenge. Miguel Lanza, Jr., that's really just too bad. I'm not interested in helping you get vengeance. Now go away before I put a hurting on you too, puta barata. Jasmine nods. Jasmine Minton, you are right. I was silly to think that you would help me. For that I have a cuth. Miguel Lanza, Jr., who? Jasmine reaches for an ornate ruby amulet around her neck and begins speaking in a tongue not heard uttered in centuries. A red beam goes from the amulet to Miguel's forehead. He closes his eyes as he seems to mentally struggle with something else inside his head. Miguel Lanza, Jr., no, you cannot, I won't let you. When Miguel is calm again and opens his eyes, they are all black. He smiles at Jasmine. Akuth, I will see that Father Nathan pays for what he did to you. Jasmine Minton, thank you. Now run along, they are calling your name. Akuth heads to the staging area so that he can be called to the ring. Jessica Carr, what did she just do? Victoria Hill, I'm not sure. Jessica Carr, well, another thing Jasmine Minton has done that throws a wrench into a match. And it's in this next match, Miguel Lanza Jr. taking on Father Nathan. Victoria Hill, you know, I keep meaning to ask how a Catholic priest has a wife and child. Jessica Carr, he's answered that before. He was married before becoming a priest. Victoria Hill, well, once more the upstarts are picking a fight with veteran talent. Funny, they claim they don't agree with the new and very much improved Abigail Dresden, but they sure follow along with what she does. Jessica Carr, youth versus experience is an age-old battle in multiple sports and life itself. Both sides have legit arguments. I think the upstarts have a point in that young talent is often overlooked and underappreciated and denied opportunities because some veteran has decided they haven't done enough. Likewise, the veterans have a point in that young talent cannot just expect to have respect earned through years and years of work handed to them on a silver platter. Valora is going to have to find a middle ground to appease the two sides. Victoria Hill, do you not know Valora? Battles like this match are exactly how she will handle this. Marcela Sancho, ladies and gentlemen, the next match is set for one fall. Introducing first. He hails from Patillas, Puerto Rico, standing 6 feet 10 inches tall and weighing in at 335 pounds. He is a member of the upstarts, the Dreadnought, Miguel Lanza Jr. Won't back down by disturbed plays over the PA, and Miguel forgoes his normal entrance as he comes out with Jasmine Minton in tow. Miguel makes right for the ring and gets in, pacing back and forth like a caged animal staring up at the entryway. Jessica Carr, it looks like Miguel Lanza Jr. is still fired up by the perceived lack of respect Nathan showed him. Victoria Hill, pfft. For once, I'm with Nathan. Kids today have no damn respect. If it wasn't for Abigail and Tetsu Oni carrying him, you'd have no idea who this loser is. Jessica Carr, he's a talented wrestler in his own right, but both fighters are in a bit of a slump lately. Victoria Hill, yes, but Nathan at least has a career-long singles record that speaks to his skill. This young punk can't win on his own and needs help first Abigail and Tetsuo Oni, now he's got that which Jasmine Minton with him. Marcela Sancho, and introducing his opponent, fighting out of Dublin, in the Republic of Ireland, he stands 6 feet, 3 inches tall and weighs in 265 pounds. He is accompanied to the ring by Fiona O'Connell. Father Nathan O'Connell. God's Gonna Cut You Down by Johnny Cash plays over the PA as Nathan also forgoes his usual entrance as he and Fiona come out from the backstage area, both making their way down, Fiona moving over near the commentary desk as Nathan climbs into the ring and gets warmed up. Jessica Carr and Fiona O'Connell could be making her CWF debut soon. We have confirmed rumors that Valora Salinas has approved a provisional contract. One match to show she has what it takes. Victoria Hill, I think she should have waited until her father said she was ready. Abigail waited until Valora said she was ready, and it still took Abigail a few matches to find her groove. To bet an entire career opportunity on your performance in one match. Young Fiona had better hope she can back up her confidence. Marcela Sancho leaves the ring and Eric Acosta Alvarez calls for the bell. Ding! Ding! Nathan comes out. Miguel taunts him, standing there, telling Nathan to take his best shot. Miguel Lanza, Jr., take your best shot, old man. Nathan shakes his head and lets out a laugh before unleashing a lightning-fast left jab that strikes Miguel right in the face. This is followed up by 2 right hooks to the abdomen, a left hook to the ribs, and a right cross to the face. Miguel stands there and laughs. Miguel Lanza, Jr., that all? Jessica Carr, well, Victoria. You spoke at length about the disrespect the younger generation has shown the veterans. I'm beginning to think you and the bastards and Cronin and Nathan might have a point. Victoria Hill, well, let's look past the fact that you're way late to the party and embrace the fact that you showed up at all. Nathan ignores the taunt and continues his opening tactic of pelting Miguel with punches, these punches having some effect but still somewhat minimal effect. Miguel continues to taunt and finally grabs hold of Nathan and sends Nathan into the ropes. As Nathan rebounds off the ropes, Miguel telegraphs the backdrop and Nathan kicks him in the face before hitting a discus clothesline, sending Miguel to the mat. Nathan pulls Miguel to his feet and Miguel counters with a couple of punches to the gut and he pushes Nathan away. Miguel Lanza, Jr., weak old man. And you're the left hand of God? Daniel must be getting desperate. Jessica Carr, Miguel seems a little different. He's using the name of Nathan's finisher as if it's a name for him? And who is Daniel? Victoria Hill, who knows with kids these days? Nathan continues circling around Miguel and throws a couple more punches, scoring a hit and causing Miguel's nose to bleed. He throws another punch and Miguel catches it, before turning it into a test of strength, leveraging pressure on the wrist, forcing Nathan to a knee. He then kicks Nathan in the face, sending him to the mat in a heap. Miguel Lanza, Jr., get up, old man. Party's just getting started. Miguel pulls Nathan to his feet and lifts him up into a military press and throws him out of the ring and to the floor at ringside. Fiona runs over to check on her father after the hard landing. Jessica Carr, and that is Miguel's claim to fame, folks. He is shockingly strong as he just showed, picking up a man that is 6 feet 3 inches and 265 pounds and throwing him like a rag doll out of the ring. Victoria Hill, it is impressive, but I think he lacks focus. I don't like Jasmine much, but if someone could keep him focused, he could dominate in this fed. Fiona helps Nathan up and Nathan comes back into the ring. Miguel smirks and eggs Nathan on. Miguel Lanza, Jr., it must be such a burden. Such a curse. To be the left hand of God. What lies did the coward tell you, Nathan? Nathan tilts his head to side and decides to test something, making the sign of the cross and speaking in Latin. Miguel stops in his tracks and shakes his head before roaring out in rage and charging forward, hitting Nathan with what turns out to be a half-body block, half-throw that lifts Nathan off his feet and sends him flying into the corner. Jasmine Minton jumps on the apron and cheers Miguel on. Miguel Lanza, Jr., think your foolish superstitions can save you? Miguel then charges forward and slams his knee into Nathan's face, repeating the move a few times before pulling Nathan to his feet and hammers him with punches and knees to the body, before ending the series of moves with a massive heel toss that sends Nathan almost clear across the ring. Erica Costa Alvarez tries to intervene but Miguel shoves her out of the way. Miguel Lanza, Jr., Daniel. You coward! I command you to show yourself. Jessica Carr, my God! Miguel hits with torpedoes away and to say Nathan is being tossed around like a ragdoll is actually not hyperbole for once. It is literally what's happening. Victoria Hill, but Miguel is making a mistake born of youth. He isn't following up on the advantage, and if there's one thing my people learned about the Irish, it's you don't want to give them a chance to get back into the fight. Nathan gets to his feet and, proving Victoria right, catches Miguel with a couple of punches to the abdomen which he follows with a European uppercut and then a right cross and another uppercut, which seems to stun Miguel. Nathan runs back to the ropes, rebounding off of them and falling flat on his face as Jasmine reaches in and trips him. Jessica Carr, Jasmine gets involved in the match. I suppose we're lucky it was just normal interference this time. Victoria Hill, to be fair, a good manager helps their wrestler win. Jasmine pays the price for her interference as Fiona charges over and pulls Jasmine off the apron and throws a punch into her left and right ribs, before hitting a right cross that sends Jasmine to the ground out cold. In the ring, Miguel continues to attack Nathan, running in and jumping up, driving an elbow into Nathan while on the mat. Miguel then gets up and steps on Nathan's hand as he continues to toy with him before dragging Nathan to his feet. Nathan again fires back with punches, ending the combo with a boxing uppercut that rocks Miguel's head back. Nathan rebounds off the ropes and runs full speed into a bicycle-style kick from Miguel that sends him back to the mat. Jessica Carr, eventually, I think Nathan is going to need to change tactics. He keeps doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Victoria Hill, you do know the Irish are renowned for their stubbornness, yes? Miguel drags Nathan to his feet. Nathan counters this time by grabbing Miguel's leg, pretending to be hurt and beaten. Suddenly Nathan punches right into the side of Miguel's kneecap, causing his leg to buckle. Miguel's size suddenly works against him and he yells out in pain as he hits the mat. Nathan forces himself to his feet and delivers a soccer-style kick to Miguel's ribs. Miguel grabs Nathan by the throat and pulls him close. Miguel on one knee is about eye level with Nathan as he headbutts Nathan and then slaps him. Miguel Lanza, Jr., I know you're in there. Come on out! Nathan responds with a headbutt of his own and a gouge to the eyes that he presses until Eric Acosta Alvarez threatens a DQ. Nathan grabs Miguel and roars out as he lifts the big man up and plants him with a belly-to-belly suplex. Nathan quickly adopts a mounted position and begins raining down left and rights to the head and face of his opponent. Miguel reaches over and grabs a rope, forcing a rope break. Nathan backs off and Miguel takes advantage of this to get to his feet and returns the favor by hammering Nathan with a flurry of punches. Jessica Carr, I suppose my broadcast partner would say this is Nathan's Irish temper coming out, but it is clearly a new side to the man as he tries to fight back. Victoria Hill, firstly, never let an Irishman near your knee. They invented kneecapping and know so many ways to hurt your knee, it isn't funny. Secondly, I approve of his tactics. The man is in a fight. You do what you need to win. Nathan dodges and weaves and blocks, defending as best he can, but one punch gets through causing him to bleed from his nose and mouth. Another punch goes through and his hands drop, unable to defend himself. A third punch and the crowd sees Nathan catch the fist. Akuth sees his target, Daniel. Daniel, irritating little parasite. You should beware what you ask for. The crowd sees Nathan hit Miguel with a punch that both Miguel and Akuth feel as Nathan hits him with multiple punches, finally stunning the big man, and Nathan rebounds off the ropes and hits Miguel with the broth kick, sending the big man to the mat. Nathan once more makes the sign of the cross and begins chanting in Latin. Miguel writhes on the mat as if Nathan's words are causing him physical pain. Jessica Carr, Nathan starts fighting back and hits the broth kick B. But Vicky. Is Nathan performing an exorcism? Victoria Hill, you're lucky I happen to study Latin. The answer to your question is yes. Yes, he is performing the rite of exorcism. I thought you needed an old priest and a young priest for that. Miguel gets to his feet and grabs Nathan, lifting him up and press slams Nathan before depositing him face first on the mat. Nathan gets up and tries to resume the rite and Miguel disrupts it. Jessica Carr, Nathan seems pretty convinced that Miguel is possessed or something. Victoria Hill, or maybe he's just outclassed and desperate. Nathan gets up and dodges and weaves around Miguel's attempted punches and fires back, continuing to pound away at Miguel's body, finishing with a boot to the gut and then plants him with a DDT. Jessica Carr, Nathan starting to fight back and turning the tide a bit. Victoria Hill, I wonder what more can happen to top what we've seen so far in this match. Nathan paces back and forth as he waits for Miguel to get up, shaking his right hand, loading up for his finisher. Miguel gets up and swings with a big haymaker, but Nathan ducks and slams his fist into the heart of Miguel. Unseen by most fans, Daniel aids this, the result being the demon Akuth is knocked out of Miguel's body Doctor Strange style for a few moments, giving Miguel control over his own body again, right before he drops to the mat. Jessica Carr, left hand of God. My God, this one kinda seemed harder than usual. Victoria Hill, I have to agree. I can't explain it, but that felt more violent somehow. Nathan drops down and makes the cover. Eric Acosta Alvarez slides into place and makes the count. 1, 2, 3. Ding! Ding! As the bell rings, Marcela Sancho comes into the ring as Nathan gets up and stands over Miguel, offering him a hand up, Marcela's mic picking up Nathan. Father Nathan, not bad for an old man, lad? Miguel seems a bit disorientated but nods, patting Nathan on the back. Marcela Sancho, ladies and gentlemen, the winner by pinfall, Nathan O'Connell. Jessica Carr, well, it was definitely a weird and strange fight, but Nathan comes out on top and stops his slump for at least one cycle. Victoria Hill, we'll have to see where he goes from here, and we also need to see the long-term implications of Miguel's alliance with Jasmine Minton. Jessica Carr, well, now we have to do one more commercial break before we get to the Tempest Championship being on the line. Victoria Hill, Zolothaka's time is coming. Lonely fans. We'll touch you in a place a real girl would, in your wallet. The show comes back to video footage playing. Voice, the following broadcast has been brought to you by Grimm Productions. The footage starts with a close-up of a skull-themed Crash helmet. The figure tilts his head to one side, before slowly removing it from their head. Voice, well, what can I say? The Crash helmet is lowered down to reveal Eddie Williams. Eddie Williams, why did I attack Abigail at the last show? A brief smile flashed across his face. Eddie Williams, well, that is easy. I was more than happy to come out and just make an impact. Little did I know that she was going to head up the crowd after her match. Well, to be honest, it couldn't have gone any better if I tried. To be honest, at that point, it really didn't matter who was the first unlucky person to cross my path. Eddie grabs hold of the side of the camera and he stares down the lens. Eddie Williams, I will make it clear. I want that Conquest title. Nothing will stand in my way, or no one. Let me make this clear, I will find out who was behind my locker room being locked at the last show. When I find out, I will make a statement. It won't be business. No, it will be a whole new level of personal. Eddie turns to leave, then pulls the camera around so it looks up at his face. Eddie Williams, Von Crosses, you make sure that you little freaks from your new little faction stay out of the bastard's business, especially out of my business. You have been warned. Eddie drops the camera, the screen fades to black moments after a pair of black boots walk off into the distance. Jessica Carr, Eddie Williams is getting ready for Warzone, where he and Rob Riot will challenge for the CWF Tag Team Championships. Victoria Hill, and he's moving to challenging for the Conquest Championship against one half of the people he's fighting on Warzone. Jessica Carr, but will he answer for what he did to Abby Dresden last Warzone as well? Victoria Hill, well, she needs to keep her eyes on bad company as well after what she did to Cronin Reinhardt last Warzone. Jessica Carr, well, that's all speculation right now. But now it's time for our main event tonight. Kat Hale defends the 4WW Tempest Championship against Zolothak. Marcela Sancho, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is the main event of the evening. It is for the 4WW Tempest Championship. Featuring first the challenger, hailing from Paris, Illinois, she is Zolothak. Cthulhu by Gunship begins playing as Morgan Decker walks out from the back to the boos from the crowd. He laughs at the hatred and motions to the back for Tabitha to come out. She does so and follows Morgan to the ring. Morgan stays at ringside while Tabitha gets into the ring. She poses for the fans, who boo her. She waves them off and leans in her corner to wait for the champion. Jessica Carr, Zolothak ready for this match after taking down Tetsuo Oni for Victoria Hill, I would hope so. Kat Hale isn't going to give up the title easily. Marcela Sancho, and her opponent, hailing from Grand Junction, Colorado, she is the 4WW Tempest champion, Wicked Kat Hale. The lights begin flashing green, blue, and red as the initial jingle of Nemo by Nightwish starts. Kat delays hitting the stage for those initial 7 seconds. She comes out wearing a black leather jacket that stops at her mid-drift, and she comes out with high energy, throwing up the rock and roll devil horns a few times, before moving to either side of the stage to engage with the crowd, pointing towards them and then starting to make her way down to the ring. She'll continue interacting with fans near the ramp, high-fiving and occasionally pausing to throw up devil horns with other members of the audience. She makes her way to the south side of the ring, jumps onto the apron, and throws her hands out to either side to pose for the audience. Then, slipping under the middle rope, moves to the opposite end of the ring. Climbing onto the middle rope of the turnbuckle, she'll rock up and down with her head down, covering the top rope until rising and flipping her hair back over her shoulders and pose with her arms spread once again, pointing to members of the audience. At last, she'll step down and strip off her jacket and hands the referee the Tempest Championship belt to ready for the match. At last, she sits on the top turnbuckle in the corner to wait for the match to start. Jessica Carr, now Kat has promised that one way or another that Morgan will go home alone tonight. Think she can get it done? Victoria Hill, I don't know. Is she going to talk her way through this? Jessica Carr, she doesn't look ready to talk. Victoria Hill, no, she looks ready to fight. As the bell sounds to start the match, Kat hops down from the corner and meets Tabitha in the center of the ring. Tabitha Osborne, that belt is going home with me tonight. Kat Hale, I wonder, have you given in to him? Tabitha Osborne, what are you talking about? Kat Hale, you know what he wants in the end. Tabitha blinks and then shoves Kat back. She bounces off of the ropes and comes back with a drop kick that sends Tabitha to the mat. Only for a second as she performs a kip up and is back on her feet. Kat catches her with a spinning elbow and then performs a quick snapmare to get Tabitha into a seated position. This is where Kat connects with a Pele kick to the back of the neck. Jessica Carr, what a kick! Victoria Hill, Kat keeping the pace of the match quick. Kat steps back as Tabitha quickly gets back to her feet and goes in to grab Tabitha, whipping her into the ropes. Tabitha comes back with a shoulder charge, leveling Kat. Tabitha lays into Kat with some savage stomping until Kat can roll away and get back to her feet. Tabitha doesn't let up though and grabs Kat up into a press slam position and drops her belly first onto her knee in a gutbuster drop. With Kat on her back, Tabitha goes in for a single-handed choke. Referee, Scott Jones, begins counting her out and Tabitha releases the choke on 5. Jessica Carr, Zolofak courting being disqualified there. Victoria Hill, I think she knows what she's doing. Tabitha pulls Kat back up and grabs her by the shoulders and hits a devastating headbutt that sends Kat to the mat as if she had been shot. Tabitha goes for the quick cover, pressing Kat's face to the side as she does so. Scott gets into position to make the count. 1, 2. Kat kicks out. Tabitha kneels up and grabs Kat by the hair to pull her up into an abdominal stretch. Tabitha Osborne, ask her. Scott Jones checks to see if Kat Hale will submit, but she refuses. She struggles to get out of the move, but the ropes are too far away. As she struggles, the crowd begin to chant. Wicked! 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 Kat seems to gather strength from the crowd and hip tosses Tabitha to the mat before nailing a quick spinning heel kick that sends her right to the mat. She practically floats to the top rope and leaps through the air for a wicked salt that lands on Tabitha. She goes for the cover. 1, 2. Tabitha kicks out. Jessica Carr, a near fall for each of them so far. Victoria Hill, the crowd really getting behind Kat Hale. Kat Hale stands up and watches as Tabitha Osborne rolls out of the ring for Morgan Decker to check on her. Morgan Decker, what was that? You're letting her gain momentum. Tabitha Osborne, I've got this. Morgan Decker, are you sure? Be more aggressive. Sweep the knee. Tabitha Osborne, do what now? Morgan Decker, if she can't stand, she can't fly. Tabitha Osborne, fine. Jessica Carr, is Solithak agreeing with Morgan on something? Victoria Hill, I mean. It is a valid strategy to target her legs. Tabitha climbs back up to the ring apron where she is met by Kat, who takes a wild swing at her. Tie the ducks under the punch and uses the second rope as leverage to slam a shoulder into Kat's midsection. Then, she jumps over the top rope with a sunset flip to slam Kat into the mat and go for the pinfall. 1. Kat kicks out. Tabitha quickly gets up and stomps on Kat's right kneecap. Kat twists up in pain, clutching at her knee, but Tabitha grabs her by the ankle and hits several spinning toe holds in a row before going the way for a figure 4 leg lock. Scott Jones checks to see if Kat will submit, but she will not. Jessica Carr, Zolofak right to work on that leg. Victoria Hill, she wants to win the championship. She had better do the work to defeat Kat. Tabitha holds the move for a few seconds before breaking it and climbing to the top rope. She looks at the downed Kat, waiting for her to slowly get up. However, Kat reaches into a pocket and pulls out a small remote control. Jessica Carr, what is this? Could Kat be cheating in some way? Victoria Hill, I don't know how she would with just a remote control. The Conquestron comes to life. Wicked Cat Hale is backstage in her dressing room, finishing getting ready for her match when there is a knock at the door. Cat Hale, it's open. The door opens and Kat's stomach drops when she sees Morgan Decker enter the room. Cat Hale, you can't be serious, she says, rolling her eyes with an unamused snort. Morgan just smiles like a Cheshire cat. Morgan Decker, kitten. He pauses as Catriel gives him a look that all but threatens to bury him in the grave for trying that pet name again. Morgan Decker, I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong about your talent, clearly. And I have been wrong since coming back into your life. In my defense, you spurned me, and it was a bitter pill swallowing my pride. But I've got the message. We can do things your way. Imagine how much higher we can score if you come back to me. Things will be like the old days, but better. Kat rolls her eyes, not sold for a moment. Cat Hale, what about Zolothak? Morgan just shrugs with a chuckle. Morgan Decker, she was just a means to an end, which was to get back to you, of course. One who has more than worn out her welcome. She's insane. Do you know she's pulled that wavy black dagger on me 3 times so far? I don't even know where she gets it from. Kat's glare remains icy as she regards him. Cat Hale, can you even hear yourself? You'll drop her just like that, and I'm supposed to be anything other than disgusted? Morgan throws his hands up in surrender and a smile. Morgan Decker, I understand your pride is inflated and you're still angry. But you should really consider my offer. I didn't pick Tabitha because there exists any reality where you can beat her. I chose her because I wanted someone to break you. She'll do just that, but I could offer you a way out. A way that lets you hold on to the little glory you've won for yourself. I could help you instead of her. Spare you the beating of your life. Cat Hale, she's chosen the name Zolothach, and while I know the concept is something new to you, but you should respect your client. After that, maybe you can try a new song and dance? The whole, "Ooh cat, you're going to regret the day you talked back to me" track is really old. Or better yet, you can get out of my locker room. Morgan Decker, you don't have to. Kat starts to get up out of her chair when Morgan hastily backs up. Morgan Decker, I'm going. I'm going. Jeez. Don't say I didn't warn you. Tabitha will go through you like she did that Tetsuo chick. Cat Hale, out. She throws a boot at Morgan, who closes the door just in time to avoid being hit. Once he is gone, Kat looks into the camera that she has stashed on her vanity. Cat Hale, if this finds its way to you like I hope it does, Zolothach, you have a snake in your corner and he's poised to bite you. Whether he does or not is on you now. With that, the feed is shut off. The crowd is silent as Cat Hale starts to get up to her feet and Tabitha just looks at her with new eyes. Cat Hale, do you see him now? Morgan Decker, don't listen to her. She hired an actor that looks like me to do the skit. I would never betray you. When Tabitha doesn't look amused, Morgan frowns angrily. Morgan Decker, look. I made you, Tabitha. Tabitha leaps from the top rope, nailing a corkscrew cutter to Morgan Decker. The crowd are on their feet and cheer the action. Tabitha rolls into the ring and looks across the ring at Kat. Tabitha Osborne, thank you. Cat Hale, let's finish this. Tabitha rushes at Kat, going for a spear to the leg, but Kat catches her and brings her down to apply a modified crossface where she pins Tabitha's arm backward between her legs while wrenching the neck in a move called Bound by Blood. Jessica Carr, bound by blood in the middle of the ring. This could be it unless Zolothach can figure a way out. Victoria Hill, I doubt she can escape. Tabitha holds on as the seconds crawl by. Morgan Decker recovers outside of the ring and climbs up to the ring apron. Cat Hale breaks the hold and runs over to kick Morgan in the gut and hit the wicked rhythm that sends Morgan back to the concrete floor. Kat turns around and Tabitha is on her with a monkey flip from the ropes toward the center of the ring. Tabitha rashes at Kat as she rises, striking her in the face with a knee strike that sends blood spraying across the mat from the impact as Kat hits the mat hard. Tabitha pulls her up and goes for the cobra clutch when Kat hits a jawbreaker. Kat limps over to the corner and climbs up to the top rope. She motions to the crowd for them to get loud and they cheer her on as she balances herself on the top turnbuckle. She looks down at Tabitha and leaps through the air to hit another wicked salt. Kat hooks a leg in going for the cover. Jessica Carr, this could be it. Victoria Hill, Scott Jones in position. 1, 2. THR Tabitha kicks out. Kat gets up and pulls Tabitha up and hits the wicked rhythm. She holds onto it and gets back up with Tabitha to hit it again. And then again. At last she crawls over for the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Marcela Sancho, winner of the match and still for WW Tempest champion, wicked Kat Hale. Kat slowly gets up and holds her championship belt high for the crowd as they cheer her on. She looks down at Tabitha and holds out a hand that she takes for help up into a hug. Tabitha raises Kat's arm into the air in victory. At ringside, Morgan Decker is up again. He has a microphone in hand. Morgan Decker, this isn't over. I'll have my vengeance on the both of you. When Kat and Tabitha act like they are going to exit the ring, Morgan drops the microphone and runs to the back. Jessica Carr, I guess they have not heard the last of him. Victoria Hill, not a bit. Once Morgan is gone, Kat Hale and Tabitha Osborne go off into the crowd to celebrate Kat's victory. Jessica Carr, well, that's it for Vanguard tonight. Join us Monday for Warzone. We will have 3 titles on the line. Victoria Hill, the Bastards are finally getting a shot at the CWF Tag Team straps as they take on Greg Salazar and the Conquest champion, Cronin Reinhardt. Jessica Carr, and before anyone else asks, the reason why Cara Reinhardt isn't part of that is because she'll be fighting Mad Morales for the Elite Championship. Victoria Hill, and as mentioned before, Monster Mammoth defends his newly won Valor Championship. Jessica Carr, and more on Warzone. And you can only get those if you both #join the conquest.